It's time for the Gold Show. Jonathan Rose, CEO, President of the Capital Gold Group, and Precious Metals Investment Strategist is with us today. As always, Jonathan, it's good to talk with you again.
Well, as always, it's a pleasure to be here to help, educate our listeners on the importance of having a diversified portfolio that does include gold and other types of precious metals to help combat whether it's inflation, unemployment, international conflicts that are happening worldwide. I'm going to explain on today's show why gold is independent of all market cycles and why it makes a great hedge and a very important aspect of as a part of a balanced portfolio.
And we're adding a new feature to the Gold Show today. It's called Ask Mr. Rose, where listeners are invited to visit www.safeasgold.com and submit their questions and comments. We will then select questions each week to address on the show. But before we get started, Jonathan, is it possible for our listeners to get a copy of the Gold Guide, a normally $80 value, but to get that free if they call in right now?
Absolutely. On today's broadcast, when they call us at 800-510-9594, they'll get the revised 2009 Gold Guide sent directly to them at no cost. Has a great DVD in there. It's a good education. It explains the benefits of how to own gold, how to purchase gold at the lowest possible prices, which gold coins and bars will give you a better return in the future, how to roll over and protect those precious dollars in your IRA or 401k, just like it was featured in the Wall Street Journal. It's all in there, and it's yours free just by calling us on today's broadcast at 800-510-9594. That's 800-510-9594, and people can subscribe to the podcast at safeasgold.com and also see international gold prices at safeasgold.us.
All right, and we're going to launch a new feature on the program. It's an opportunity for listeners to ask Mr. Rose. They can go to the website, www.safeasgold.com, and submit their questions and comments. Jonathan, ready to go?
I'm ready to go. Yes, sir.
All right. Samuel Jones from North Carolina sends in this question to you. When is the best time to purchase gold? This is a good question that many people wonder. And where do you predict gold to be, for example, in 3 months? He writes that it seems like gold has been floating around the 900 mark for a while now. Is it going to take a sudden jump, or what's going to happen? Again, Samuel Jones from North Carolina asking about time to buy gold, and why does it seem to be staying right in that same area?
Okay, that is a very good question to get started with. And, unfortunately, nobody has a crystal ball in terms of what's happening with the future. But in terms of what's happening today on the horizon, we've got a magnitude of problems, especially with a tsunami wave of destruction that's kind of landed upon us, that's put us into a deep recession. And obviously, this is very evident by companies such as General Motors going bankrupt, a lot of bank failures that are happening. And as people, see this volatility in the market, this deep recession that's going on, people are looking for a safe haven, and they're looking for a flight to safety and security. And that's kind of where gold really does come into play, because as everything kind of goes to pot, as we say, gold is independent of all market cycles. So, in fact, if things tend to get worse, and I'm not about to be too doomy and gloomy, but unfortunately, things are pretty bad right now, well, actually, that's good for gold. And in terms of, when's a good time to buy gold, I've always learned and been taught by my peers that you don't wait to buy gold, you buy gold and wait. And in my opinion, with gold bullion being under $1,000 an ounce right now, today it's at $932 thereabouts, I think it's an incredibly, strong indicator for a buying opportunity. And this is very evidenced by the fact that there's companies out there. One of them is Northwestern Mutual, which is the third largest U.S. life insurance company. Well, they recently purchased gold for the first time in the company's 152-year history. And in explaining the $400 million purchase, the Northwestern CEO told investors, gold just seems to make sense. It's a store of value. In the Depression, gold did very, very well. So people understand that gold is a safe haven. So whether it's, individuals trying to protect themselves with gold, you have to be aware that institutions are buying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of gold to diversify their holdings, not just to protect the company, to protect the shareholders, and to understand that if you back up your dollars with gold, well, it's like having a nest egg that's not going to go anywhere because it's a storage of wealth. And in terms of gold in the next 3 months, well, I think it could peak to $1,000. It's kind of been hovering up there and pulling back, obviously, with different news events that are happening day by day. I mean, today's headlines where, on Yahoo, where North Korea is looking to wipe out the U.S., well, when sentiments and statements like this come out, what happens is gold goes up because, again, any bad news that's an international conflict that can do with the economy pushes the price of gold up. So as I see it right now, the next 3 months are going to be very prosperous for gold, and expect gold to, maybe not quite hit the $1,000 mark by the next 3 months, but definitely by the end of the year to be at $1,200 to $1,500 an ounce.
All right, Samuel Jones from North Carolina, thank you for your question. Again, new feature called Ask Mr. Rose, where listeners are invited to go to www.safeasgold.com and submit their questions and comments. We'll do several on the program today. Before we do another question, I want to share the number because you've got the Gold Guide today that's got the DVD freshly updated for 2009. Normally $80 value, but you're going to send it out to the listeners for free. They won't even have to pay shipping, handling, anything like that. They can do that, can't they?
They can. They just have to pick up the phone and call us on today's broadcast, toll-free, at 800-510-9594. Again, that's 800-510-9594. The information you're going to get for free is going to cover a lot of the benefits and advantages of adding gold to your portfolio. So whether you're looking at taking physical possession of the gold or whether you're looking to protect those shrinking dollars that may be laying dormant in an IRA or 401k, and just like it was featured in the Wall Street Journal, we will show you how to roll those dollars into an IRA backed by solid gold. It's all in there. It covers also a lot of topical information that we can't cover on today's show, whether it's talking about inflation, the shrinking dollar. It's all in there, and it's yours free just by calling us at 800-510-9594. Again, that's 800-510-9594. You can subscribe to the podcast at safeasgold.com and see international gold prices at safeasgold.us.
We're talking with Jonathan Rose from the Capital Gold Group. Jonathan, let's do another question here. This one comes from Laura Scott from Texas, who asks, what is the difference between owning precious metals and owning stocks? This is a good one.
Another good question. Okay, well, there is a huge difference in actually owning physical gold versus owning a gold mining stock. And the first apparent difference is when you invest in a gold mining stock, you don't get to take possession of the gold, and that's really where the security is. You're still invested in a paper asset that's being invested into a commodity. So first of all, the management team of this gold mining company, we don't know who they are, so really you are also investing in the management team of that company. And if they don't find any gold in the ground, well, you as a shareholder do not make any money. And as it stands right now, according to the World Gold Council, gold supply is down, it's diminishing, and in fact, there's only a finite supply of gold. Once it's gone, it's gone. And I've been predicting, as I predicted last year, that gold shortages were going to come into effect and be another reason for pushing the prices of gold up. So one of the safest ways to invest in gold, in my opinion, is to take possession of the gold so you have something tangible. And if you listen to a lot of these Wall Street pundits, they're running around right now screaming, cash is trash, cash is trash. Now, obviously, there's a slight joke to that, but the seriousness, the message that they're trying to portray is, these next few years are the years where you want to diversify away from the dollar because it's shrinking and be invested in tangible assets, something heavy. If it dropped on your foot, you went, ow.